Thank you so much, Mr. Chatterjee, for being associated with the CSR Journal
My pleasure.
and the Excellence Awards today. Tell us your distinctive reason of being here today and associated with the CSR Journal.
Well, one reason is I think that the selection of outstanding projects, the way that you asked each of them to present what exactly they were doing, what the outcomes were likely to be, how much interest they took, and the transparency which they exhibited in putting the facts on record. That struck me as something very unusual. There are awards and awards, but this one I think had a lot of due diligence, a lot of hard work went into it, and it really was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for the appreciation. Can you tell us an entry that stood out for you, or what did you think about all the entries at large?
Of course, without doubt, all of them were exceptionally good. But the two in my mind which stood out head and shoulders above the other. One was the attempt to teach drip irrigation to the Adivasis. To get a whole ecosystem of human beings who have been at the very bottom end of agricultural practices, completely ignored in the mainstream of the way India has gone forward in agriculture, to bring them into the mainstream, teach them new, eh, completely different agricultural practices, crop patterns, diversities, was remarkable. And the other was the sports one, the Paralympics. I don't know how they got those medals and what they did to the Paralympians. Credit to the Olympians themselves, but to this organization, which attracted funds from virtually out of nowhere, got people interested. As I said, in sports, you cannot escape the results. They are, by the clock. So you either get there or you don't. And these were the two that really stood out for me.
Any word of advice for the NGOs or corporates after today?
Greater synergy, greater partnership. Yes, the earlier deficit gaps are now disappearing. As I said in my speech today, a lot of corporatization of NGOs, NGOization of corporates. Today, much greater synergies on view, and that's why you see these results. And the aspiration on both sides, the NGOs and the corporates, the willingness to be able to say, this is what we've done, this is the impact we're willing to show you.
A report on investment. What do you see as the core gap that needs to be filled in and can be done by CSR?
Well, I think the Chief Minister put it very well, and some of his ministers also acknowledged very well, and I like that. There are, in the implementation of many development programs, enormous gaps in the way things are done, and that is inevitable. Government is huge, humongous, the machinery is extraordinarily big, and therefore to implement programs is a very difficult task. Part of the reason why, as an ex bureaucrat and I've been in government, the reasons why we brought the law was also this, that if corporates and NGOs can supplement and complement what government is doing, then that helps to fill in the blanks, fill in the blank spaces, and give delivery mechanisms the totality of what we want them to do on the ground. The results are therefore much more enduring, much more visible, and they approach the ground, the grassroots, the poorest of the poor.
So it's been 3 years since the mandate has come into the picture, which is your brainchild, of course. We have seen a variety in terms of projects, in terms of reporting structures. Of course, penalties have also been served. Where do you see this going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, 10 years is a long time, but 5 years I can try. I see exponential growth here. I can see now, and I attend several board meetings, how much the CSR committee is really clued in on what that company is doing. Every penny they spend on CSR, what results is it giving? The best minds of companies are now engaged on CSR literally on a hands on basis. They never were. And the way they review the program, the way they allocate the projects, the way they evaluate them, and in a sense, the kind of possession that has come of these CSR committees about their projects, you refer to them as, hey, this is our project. What have you done with it? So it's something that where the ownership is coming in, the best minds in the country are addressing the situation, much greater monitoring, openness, accountability, result orientation, impact. So I feel that at the end of the day, we wanted to leverage this money. It is not a big sum, as I said in my speech, but whatever it is, we get far more from it
Okay.
than we've ever done before.
So it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. Thank you.
Delighted, yeah, delighted. Thank
Thank
you
you.
ever so much.
Thank you.